Okay. Good morning. I'm Reverend Jill Washington, and I am live from St. Bridget's Spiritualist Church of Edmonton, and I'm here with a lovely congregation this morning, and we are about to do our lecture. And so what is our lecture going to be about today? Well, it's going to be about what it means to be a spiritualist. And what does that mean? So what we're going to talk about is, it's a question that you need to ask yourselves. What does it mean to be a spiritualist? Because being a spiritualist is not merely a label. So we have very different religions, say I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, and this. But being a spiritualist is about a number of things. When we talk about our 7 principles, that is sort of like our sort of way of being human, right? A spiritual person being human in this earthly plane, right? These are the principles that we're following. So we are, because spiritualist is not merely a label, it's a way of life. It's a path of awareness and compassion and connection to the eternal spirit within all living things. I think this is really important because we are connected. We are souls having an experience here, right? We are learning about lessons about this world, right? We have things to improve on within our soul. We're developing our spiritual awakening in different aspects. So this is part of being a spiritualist. It is at the heart, spiritualism is living, breathing the philosophy, one that reminds us we're not human beings occasionally having a spiritual experience, but we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So I think this is what we need to remember, right? And it's hard, and I find sometimes it's hard to think about, we're all connected? Really? How does that happen? But when we think about it, when you think about the Creator, we think about God, whatever word you choose to represent the higher power, the source of love, we are all coming from it. We come from that. What a wonderful thing to think about, right? It is knowing, it's about knowing and not just believing. There's a difference, right? That life is continuous and that love never dies and that our souls are eternal. So we come down, we have an experience here, we grow, we learn, we transition to the spirit world, right? We've had an experience there. We continue to live on, right? Which is the wonderful thing. We don't die. We continue to move forward. Unlike dogmas or doctrines, spiritualism invites us to experience the truth of ourselves. It asks us to open our hearts, to explore our intuition, and to find a personal connection with the divine. However we choose to name it, God, spirit, source, or simple love. So it's this view developing your relationship with your higher power, with your God, with your Creator, with that power. And it's an individual relationship that we have, which is a beautiful thing. Spiritualism is a faith built not on fear, but understanding, not on judgment, but on personal responsibility and compassion. And that goes back to our 7 principles of taking personal responsibility for every thought, word, and action that we have, right? So the principles of spiritualism. We often speak of the 7 principles of spiritualism, which serves as a gentle guides for our spiritual development. They are not commandments or rigid laws. They are living principles, flexible enough to grow with us as our understanding deepens. And if you think back when you were, 10 years ago, are you the same then as you were 10 years ago? Have you grown? Have you learned? And usually how we learn is through hardships, right?
Trial and error.
That's where we grow. So even though we are experiencing something like that, we have to understand that it's for our own spiritual development, our own growth, our own understanding of learning to be compassionate, empathetic to others. That is the joy and the beautifulness of being a spiritualist. So it reminds us that there is a divine spirit, the infinite intelligent that underlies all creation. That's everything. Flowers, bees, animals, trees, the wind, the sun, the moon, each other, right? We're all connected. That we are all part of the family of humanity connects us through the same spark of divinity. That our soul continues after the physical death, and communication between the two worlds is not only possible, but it's natural. That's an ability that we all have, right? And I think we don't know it, or we don't trust it, we don't believe it, and then we find that we are not. I don't know if you think about the times where you had an intuition, you knew you shouldn't do it, but you did it anyways. What happened, right? And the times that you did trust your intuition. But isn't that a wonderful thing that we have it? To me, that's the gift. That's our gift that the Creator's given us. And it's in here, it's in us. And we have to believe it. But how do we start believing it? We have to start believing in ourselves and our connection with the higher power. Okay. That we are responsible for our own actions, thoughts, and choices, creating our own heaven or learning through our own experiences. Have you ever heard about that? Right? Create our own heaven and hell here on earth. And how we choose a choice, how we choose to show up in life, how we choose to be in life, how we choose to act, how we choose to treat each other. It's a choice. We have a choice. And sometimes we feel we don't, especially in those times when you're that crunching times of sorrow and pain and hurt and disappointment. It's hard. But that's when we do our relationship and our connection with the higher power. That's what helps us through, and believing that we are not alone in those circumstances. And that eternal progress is open to every soul in this world and in the next, that we're always evolving. We're always growing, learning, changing, developing, connecting, learning. How many people think about their past and have regrets? I'm one of them too, right? But when you stop and think about those regrets, it's like, what did you learn? Those were learning opportunities, right? And the other part of that is that when you think back, you've learned so much from that point. And if you went back, would you do the same thing? No, you wouldn't, right? I hear your dad's going, no, you wouldn't. I wouldn't either. But we have to be kind to ourselves in those times. We have to remember these are learning, they're growth. When we live by these principles, they become more than words. They become a way of being. They guide us to act with kindness, to forgive ourselves and others, to live truthfully, and to walk upon the earth gently, kindly, appreciating, knowing, loving, being part of. So the other thing with being a spiritualist is mediumship. It's a bridge between the two worlds. One of the most beautiful expressions of spiritualism is mediumship. Mediumship is not about fortune telling or spectacles. It is a sacred act of service. It is a bridge between the two worlds, demonstrating that love truly is stronger than death. When you think about that, who's had a connection, who's had a reading from a medium, who's had that, and how has it been? Did you find that it was helpful, that it connected you to your loved one? Did you feel that love, that power, that you are not alone? They're still connected with you. They're still around you. What a beautiful thing that we continue on, and our loved ones, when they cross over, they're still here. They're still with us. We just have to open up. And I know some of you are learning some of this now in your development this weekend, so great on you. When a medium brings through evidence of a loved one in spirit, a shared memory, a phrase, a smile, a personality that shines through, we are reminded that death is not an end, but a doorway. For the grieving heart, this can be profoundly healing. It brings us comfort, but more than that, it awakens hope and faith. It shows us that we are never alone, and that our loved ones walk beside us, and that life's bonds is what I'm trying to say, continues unbroken. They're still with us. Yay! Our loved ones who are not here right now, that have crossed over, even if it was years ago, they're still here. They remind us, song, a sign, a memory, a smell, a reminder. Those are all they're connecting with us too. To remember that. It shows us that we are never alone, and that our loved ones walk beside us, and that our bonds continue unbroken. So mediumship also teaches us to trust the quiet voice within, our own intuition, our own connection with spirit. Every one of us has that ability. I'm going to say that again. Every one of us has the ability. Because a lot of people don't think they do. Part of that is their own journey and learning and being disconnected with who they are as well. The part of that. But it's learning to help and support people to get that, to find that within themselves, to find their own connection with their spirit. Every one of us has that ability. Every one of us can listen, feel, and attune to the higher vibration of love. Spiritualism is a way of living. To be a spiritualist is to live with awareness, to see spirit in all people and all things. It's about recognizing that every encounter and every difficulty offers a chance for growth and understanding. So, in those moments, try to remind yourself that. I know sometimes it's not easy, but I'm going to say this again. It's about recognizing that every encounter, even the difficult ones, offers a chance for growth and understanding. That's our spirit growing. That's us growing as a soul, as a human, learning, but it helps our soul to grow. It's about taking responsibility for the energy we bring into the world. We understand that our thoughts, our words, our intentions all have power. Did you know that? Your thought, right now, whatever you're thinking, is a wave. It goes out. And if we're having negative thoughts, guess what's going to come back? All the negative thoughts. But we send out positive ones. We're going to start experiencing positive things. And also we choose to live consciously, to speak with kindness, to act with integrity, to love without condition. That's hard to do sometimes, to love without condition. To give unconditional love. What would that be like? because we're always wanting, especially, you know, we come from, we're human here. We have experiences. And sometimes those experiences shuts us down. They close us off from connecting to each other and to ourselves. So it's in those times that we have to get connected to our spirit, to our higher power, to God. And that's where our love builds. And that's where it grows. And that's how we can start giving that unconditional love. Because that's what God's about. The Creator's about love. Being a spiritualist doesn't mean we never face challenges or pain. It means we face them with faith and resilience, knowing that Spirit walks with us through it all. So I know those times of trouble, like the bridge over troubled water, when we find in the, you know, those times when things are really, really tough, sometimes we just need to go within and have that connection. Connect with Spirit, connect with your love for Spirit. Spirit is with you. Your spirit guides, they're with you. They never leave you. And in the stillness of the quietness is where we hear them, we sense them. It's a knowing. And what happens? We get this beautiful feeling of calm and know we're going to be okay. And it's in that practice that develops. So we come to understand that even in hardships, there is a purpose, that our souls are always evolving towards greater wisdom and compassion. A true hallmark of spiritualism is community, a gathering of like-minded souls. Here we are, together in love, truth, and service. In this sacred space, we celebrate the unity of life and the diversity of its existence and expression. When we gather in circles, in service, or in moments of prayer, we create a vibration of light that uplifts not only ourselves, but the world around us. When you are with a gathering of people and that power that we create, just even when we sat in the power of our healing power, that it's like an energizer. It's like just sort of is a battery charger kind of thing, right? So when we are together with like-minded people, our energy grows and gets stronger, and we connect easier. And it fills us up. It fills you up. I don't know how many people, well, I'm hoping when you leave here, you feel full. Feel full of your connection, of your relationship with your higher power. Okay. Each time we send healing thoughts, extend compassion, or offer a kind word, we are living in spiritualism. This community reminds us that we belong, that our spiritual journey with personal is also collective, that by coming together, we magnify the light and help one another remember who we truly are. The path of eternal progress. Finally, being a spiritualist means embracing the idea of eternal progress. We are never finished, never static, always learning, always evolving. Each day offers a new opportunity to deepen our understanding, to heal, to grow, to love more fully. Our journey doesn't end when the body dies. The spirit continues, vibrant, aware, and full of the same desires to grow closer to the divine. And also, when we speak of eternal progress, we speak of hope. Hope for ourselves, hope for humanity, and for all souls on both sides of life. So, what does it mean to be a spiritualist? It means to live with an open heart, to seek truth and understanding, to know that life is continuous, love is eternal, and spirit is all around us. It means to walk gently, to forgive easily, and to love deeply. To find divinity not just in the heavens, but in the eyes of those we meet. It is awakening each morning grateful for the gifts of this entire life, and to go to sleep knowing that we are never separate from the world of spirit. In the words of Silver Birch, the spirit teacher, you are not a body with a soul. You are a soul that temporarily has a body. And in that awareness, there is peace, there's freedom, and there is purpose. So Spirit bless us, each of you, on your path of eternal progress. So I hope you have enjoyed this lecture today about what it means to be a spiritualist. It has a lot of meaning and purpose and connection, and I do hope that you find this informative and that it also connects for you. I just want to let you know that we have Evening with Spirit on November 15th, and that is a Saturday evening from 7 to 9. You just go on our website for that one. And on December 6th, we are having our psychic tea. So hopefully you can join us. Also, 10:30 Sundays, we have a lovely congregation together, and we'd love to have you because we do a lot more than just the live lecture. So have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.